Recently, Moyu came out with the GTS3M, which I personally really like. It's my main, and I made a review on this cube, but there is something about it that I didn't mention. The GTS3M came with two design innovations. At first glance, we have the RIGID design, which some people like and some people dislike, but most people I've talked to say that it doesn't really make a difference. The second design innovation is this circular piece of plastic under the center caps. What it does is simple enough. Using the tool that comes in the GTS3 box, you can turn it counterclockwise, and with each turn we move to a higher and higher setting. If you go far enough, you return to the lowest setting. The lowest setting makes the cube very unstable, but also makes it really fast. The higher you go, the more stable the cube becomes, but as a side effect, the cube also becomes slower. But wait a minute, what about using a screwdriver on the screw? When did we stop doing that? And couldn't the same thing be said for this? If you make it tighter, it's more stable, and if you make it looser, it's less stable. Like, what's the difference? Why do we need two systems that do the exact same thing? Unless they don't do the same thing. Let me show you two things. The first one makes perfect sense, but the second one might confuse you. Here we have two identical cubes, but the one on the right is set to be a lot looser. It also feels a lot more unstable in comparison. When we pull on the layers, the looser cube appears looser. Obviously. Now here I've done a similar thing, but instead of changing the screw, I've changed the spring compression setting. Again, the one on the right feels a lot more unstable, but when I pull on the layers, they're exactly the same. So in this video, let's not talk about the GTS3 as a whole, but instead I'm just going to focus on its spring compression system. So I'm going to explain what it does, how it works, and why I think every cube nowadays should use this system. First of all, what's the difference between the new spring compression system and just adjusting the screws with a screwdriver? When we say tension, we're actually talking about the screw depth. So let's remove the springs from the equation. What do the screws actually do? Well, if the tension is too loose, obviously the cube falls apart. If the tension is too tight, there's not much room for the pieces to move, so the cube will feel rigid and become difficult to turn. Back in the early days of speed cubing, cubes actually didn't even have springs in them. And now we go out of our way to change which springs we use. So whether it's the GTS3 spring compression system, the variety of GAN GES springs, or just putting 5x5 springs into a 6x6. So what exactly is the purpose of the springs? You don't want a slow and rigid cube, of course. You want it to turn quickly. So you want looser tensions to give the pieces more room to move. But then you run into a problem. With looser tensions, the pieces have room to jiggle around when you turn, causing what we call an unstable feel. To showcase what I mean, this is what a cube looks like when you remove the springs. But with springs, anytime the pieces want to move around, the spring applies a force to keep it in place. Some springs are stronger than others, which is why we sometimes swap them around between cubes to get a different feel. With stronger springs, you'll find that the cube is more stable. Of course, this is because a stronger spring exerts a greater force on the pieces to hold them in place. Warning, we're going to go into a little bit of physics, but trust me, it'll make sense. The strength of a spring is determined by what's known as the spring constant. The value of K is different for each spring, but the spring is stronger when K is larger. In physics, Hooke's law provides an equation for us to calculate the force that a spring will apply. You take the spring constant and multiply it by the distance that the spring is being compressed. Larger spring constant, more force. Okay, let's step back for a second. How does the spring affect the performance and the feel of the cube? Okay, let's talk about cube performance then. Screw tensions determine how much the pieces are allowed to move around, which affects things like corner cutting and whether pieces can pop out. Spring strength, on the other hand, determines how easily the pieces can move around within that space. This affects cube speed and stability. So when you customize a cube, you want to find the ideal screw tension that prevents pops and allows maximum corner cutting. But the screw tensions alone don't control the cube's speed and stability. There's also the spring strength. Back when the Weilong GTS was my main, I remember I had one big problem with it. I would have to loosen it to get the corner cutting to be good, but then I ran into a new problem, which was it was unstable. So I'd have to tighten it again, but then the corner cutting wasn't good anymore. So I just could not find the right balance between corner cutting and stability, and I just thought it was the cube's fault. Oh my god, I had so much trouble with that cube, but if only I knew what the actual problem was, and that's the strength of the springs. Okay, but let's just go back in time and pretend that I knew that that was the problem. And to make a more stable cube without changing the tensions, because I want to keep the corner cutting good, I would have to just find stronger springs. That'll make it more stable. But then I run into a new problem. I don't have other cubes that will have that stronger spring strength. Like, maybe I will, but I have to test all of them. And what about for somebody who doesn't have more cubes? Should they buy more cubes to find the right spring strength? Or should there just be a better system in place? I don't want to buy other cubes just so I can test if the spring strength is going to be right. Or even if I know it's right, I don't want to get a Yushin 5x5 just so I can make the Yushin Red 6x6 better by swapping their springs. There has to be a better system. Then we have the GAN 356 Air. Finally, we had a solution to this problem. The GAN Air came with a bunch of different springs where the stronger ones made the cube feel more stable, but the weaker ones made the cube faster. Almost everyone picked the yellow springs because it was a nice middle ground, but still, what a great system. Each spring came with a different spring constant, and remember what that does? A larger spring constant causes the spring to exert more force on the pieces, making it more stable. Brilliant. Now I don't have to experiment by taking apart other cubes to steal their springs. But wait, isn't this video about the GTS3 spring system? Why am I talking so much about the GAN system? Well, GAN's spring system was the final chapter in the sad story of spring swaps. Like, don't get me wrong, GAN's system was brilliant for its time, but just the fact that you still have to do spring swaps, they're really time consuming. So essentially, GAN took the spring swap idea and just made it better by giving you all of the springs you needed. To be honest, even then, I really didn't like messing around with the GAN springs because it just took too long. So that was an improvement because you didn't have to get other cubes to try it out with, but that wasn't an improvement in how much time it took just to swap the springs. But then, the GTS3 system, it's just genius. Like, it doesn't do the exact same thing, but it accomplishes the same thing as spring swaps, and it's a lot faster to do. Remember Hooke's law? This equation where a larger spring constant means more force, and therefore a more stable cube? Well, you don't need a larger spring constant to make the force go up. What about this? If you raise this number, the force goes up too. Think about it like this. If you take a spring and then try to push down on it a little bit, it gets harder to push down the more compressed the spring is. So even though it may start out as a weak spring, once you have it pushed down a little bit, then it acts like it's a stronger spring by pushing back harder against your fingers. So when you turn this device to raise it up, it actually just compresses the spring on the inside a little bit, making it act like it's a stronger spring. That's why the cube feels more stable. So in the end, both the GAN spring system, or just spring swaps in general, versus the GTS3 system, they accomplish the same thing. Either way, you just change the force that the spring exerts. But the GTS3 system is better because you don't have to do a spring swap. Just by looking at the equation, it seems a bit obvious. Would it be easier to change the spring constant or the compression? Simple. It's compression that's easier to change. But it's not that obvious when you talk about it as spring strength. Often, new ideas are hard to come by because we make assumptions that are not necessarily wrong, but don't really fit with what we're trying to accomplish. So yes, it's true, you can't just change the strength of a spring without getting an entirely new spring. But if you just compress it, then it actually acts like it's a stronger spring, but you never actually change the strength of the spring itself. So that's thinking outside of the box, and at least to me, that's a really smart solution to spring swaps. So I mentioned this earlier in the video, but if you missed it, here it is again. When customizing a cube, you should find screw tensions that optimize corner cutting, as well as preventing pops. After you found that, you can stop with the screw tensions and just adjust the spring strength to find the right balance of speed and stability. But that doesn't work so easily if you're not using the GTS3 spring system. That's because once you find the right tensions, you can't just adjust the springs inside. You have to actually take everything apart if you want to switch any of the springs. And then once you put everything back together, you have to find the same tensions again, which can be kind of difficult. Now again, GAN's system is perfectly fine in this respect. It's easy to find the tensions that you had before because you can just compare the plastic to the metal rod and see where they line up, and you can just memorize that. So right now, it seems like GAN and the GTS3 are the only spring systems that seem to be working well, but the GTS3's is a lot easier to use because you don't have to take anything out. Now, moving on to a slightly different topic, you may have heard about the compressed spring mod for the Wuxue, which makes it slightly faster, but also less stable. I'll spare you the physics details, but that's a totally different idea from the GTS3 system. The GTS3 compresses a spring temporarily, which makes it act like it's stronger. The compressed spring mod compresses the spring permanently, so that it becomes a shorter spring. That actually makes the spring act like it's weaker within the architecture of the cube. So yeah, it's really confusing. It should be. But here's a diagram covering all the info if you're interested. And if you have any more questions about any of this, you can leave it in the comments and I'll try my best to answer it. By the way, I did some research before I made this video to make sure I knew how springs worked, but I'm not an expert on this topic. So if you're knowledgeable about springs and you notice any mistakes, feel free to let me know in the comments. The main message I want to put out here is that the GTS3 spring compression system does the same thing as a spring swap, but it's so much faster, and I really love this system. I don't think that it's perfect in the GTS3, and what I mean by that is not that the system is bad, but that I don't think the range of compressions is really that useful. I found that the strongest spring compression, which is the highest setting, was the best one, but I didn't feel like the other ones were particularly good at all. Like, the lowest one was just way too unstable to even use. So having a wider range of compression with more focus on the more stable side, I think would be a good idea. But this is our first time seeing this sort of technology in a cube. And just like with the GAN GES system where now we have more viable springs, I think that the GTS3 could improve on this as well. But the system as a concept, I think is really great. So as always, I'd like to thank my supporters on Patreon for making videos like this possible. This was a bit of an unexpected video, not the usual like tutorials or reviews, but I really felt that this had to be said. But besides videos like these, I tried to put a poll on Patreon so you guys can vote for what video I should make next. So if you want to have access to something like that or just some of the other rewards, then you can go to patreon.com/jperm and I'll really appreciate your support. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys learned something new and I'll see you guys all next time.